It's at woub.org/Pippin.
Tonight on Newswatch, it's Election Day, and voters in Ohio and across the nation are casting their ballots.
Plus, the government shutdown has reached its 35th day, tying it as the longest shutdown in U.S. history.
And in sports, it's Battle of the Bricks night in Athens as Ohio and Miami meet for the 102nd time. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Herner.
And I'm Morgan Anderson. Welcome to Newswatch. Athens residents still have about an hour to head to the polls to vote on several key issues. For citizens, they'll decide on a new council president, several new council members, and levies. Reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld joins us with what this election will mean for Athens residents. Charlie.
Thanks, Morgan. There will be 3 new members of Athens City Council alongside the new president elected tonight. But down the ballot, there will be levies determining key funding across the county. The first levy asks residents whether they want to approve a levy to continue the support of Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities. This is not a new tax, only a renewal. The second asks if they want to approve a sales tax increase to support 911's continued operation. Same as the previous levy, this is a renewal levy. The third would replace the existing levy supporting emergency medical services. The levy would increase the total collected by approximately $500,000. On the other side of the ballot, Micah McCary runs unopposed for city council president, moving from his role as a council member, replacing outgoing president Sam Crowell. Joshua Thomas will run unopposed for treasurer, and on council, 3 new members will replace McCary, Solveig Spjeldenes, and Jeff Reisner. Paul Isherwood, Megan Lee Almeida, and John Adams Stacer will join Athens City Council. While the races for council are still up in the air, the levies are still yet to be determined. While levies have enjoyed popular support in years past, an income tax levy this spring failed. Council members said it was due to a lack of information and understanding from the public due to a low turnout. Further, while these races are unopposed in Athens, there are plenty of contested elections still up in the air in Nelsonville.
Right, Charlie, all eyes are on the races for Nelsonville city government because of the ongoing legal challenge concerning the city's form of government. Issue 23 was the center of the last November election for Nelsonville, and it's the same this year as well. Nelsonville voters saw 2 different governments on their ballots this year, one under Issue 23 and one under the city's charter. Under Issue 23, there are 3 candidates running for mayor. Current council member Jonathan Flowers, city manager Fred Holmes, and former council vice president Nancy Sonic are all on the ballot. Holmes and Sonic are both write-in candidates as well. As for the council under Issue 23, there are 7 people running for seats, but only 4 people are running under the city's charter. Because the council repealed Issue 23, none of the Issue 23 candidates can take office if elected until the court decides if that repeal was valid. Voters today say they believe in their city despite the uncertainty.
Not for me specifically, because the office that I am running for, it's an uncontested race. But I do have nerves about the outcome in other contests, and just how it affects the way that we all move forward together.
Yeah. I think there will be some challenges to get this mess resolved, but I think the future of Nelsonville is really, really bright, and I'm excited about it.
WOUB is your source for all your local election results. We've been following the city government elections in Athens and Nelsonville, and as well as local levies in Athens and Trimble. If you haven't voted yet, there's still time. Polls are open until 7:30. Starting then, we'll be posting live updates on Instagram and X. For more election coverage, you can visit the WOUB website at woub.org.
Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose released a final update on Ohio absentee and early voting data ahead of today's general election. The data shows a 72% overall ballot return rate out of the almost 4,600 1,000 total ballots requested. Roughly 66% of voters chose to cast their ballots through early in-person voting, making it the most popular method among early voters. The second most popular method being vote by mail, with 26% of voters. According to Secretary LaRose, releasing data is Ohio continuing to set the standard for election transparency.
With the government shutdown approaching its 35th day, the Department of Administrative Services is warning that state employees could face furloughs. Roughly 9,000 state employees across 6 agencies could face furloughs if federal funding is halted because of the shutdown. Those include agencies like the Ohio EPA, the Department of Health, and the Department of Public Safety. The potential impact to the agencies is still being evaluated.
Well, if you're heading out to the polls, you got a little less than an hour to do so if you're going in person. So let's head on over to the Weather Center with forecaster Zach, and let's see what we need to be wearing as we head out tonight.
Yeah, thank you. If we're looking to go vote tonight, or if you're looking to go out and do anything at all, expect a couple rain showers moving through much of Ohio. Looking locally, we're going to see this is not going to be a huge issue, so it's certainly still a very nice day to go out there and cast your ballot. Some of these rain showers kind of just moving in from west to east, slowly disintegrating as they move across the state. So expect a sprinkle or two possibly as we look towards the rest of the evening, but as we get towards tonight, it's going to be a clear one in general. Over the last couple hours, we've really been seeing these temperatures soar, generally getting in towards those low 60s across much of the area. Tonight, we're going to see those temperatures drop down a little bit, not quite as cool as we've seen the last couple nights, only getting down in towards those low 40s with some very clear skies as we look towards tomorrow. Those clear skies stick around, but look at these highs. We're getting up in towards those upper 60s, so stick around for my full weather forecast to see what the rest of this week looks like.
Thank you, Zach. Although President Donald Trump isn't on the ballot this election day, his administration's policies are looming large as voters cast their ballots in the day's top races. Karen Kafa is in Washington with a look at today's key votes.
Governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey, the mayor's race in New York City, and a California vote that will tee up next year's high-stakes congressional elections headline Election Day 2025. With a large population of federal workers impacted by the Trump administration's downsizing of the government workforce and the current shutdown, Democratic Virginia candidate for governor and former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger has tied Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears to President Donald Trump and his policies to try to boost her campaign. In New Jersey, Republican gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli, who was endorsed by Trump, has framed himself as a Jersey guy while trying to cast his opponent, Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, who moved to the Garden State after her Navy career, as an outsider. And in New York City, Trump urged voters to support former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo over Democratic nominee Zoran Mamdani. Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, has zeroed in on the cost of living in the city, which has resonated especially with young and social media savvy voters. Cuomo, who lost to Mamdani in the Democratic primary and is running as an independent, has argued Mamdani, a 34-year-old state assemblyman, is too inexperienced. And in California, voters are considering a plan backed by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom to reshape the state's congressional map to improve Democrats' chances of winning 5 GOP-held seats in next year's midterms. It's designed to counter a plan signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott that aims to help Republicans win 5 House seats there. Of course, those 2026 midterm elections are still a full year away, but both parties will be looking for insights into how to turn out voters in their favor when control of Congress is up for grabs next November. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Next in sports, we are live at Peden Stadium as Ohio and Miami are set to battle for the 102nd time. Stay tuned for a look at the rivalry and what it means for the MAC title game picture.
On Masterpiece.
You can stick me in chains, Mr. Boyce, but I still won't have nothing to say.
The Brinks-Mac goal is the seed money for the greatest criminal fortune in history if you're not quick.
I'm innocent.
We are here to talk about you.
I wasn't aware that I was on trial.
This thing I'm in is a war, and in a war, everyone has their part to play.
The Gold, the season finale on Masterpiece. Sunday at 10 on WOUB.
You know this is dangerous stuff to be meddling in, don't you?
Oh. All mysteries need to be solved.
Pedal to the metal!
This is a serious investigation.
game changer.
I'm Chief Inspector Maybury.
Well, well, the great detective.
So I've nicked every villain in this city once and the good ones twice.
He's disappeared off the face of the earth.
What?
Make way for the Queen. The people love me.
This is not a request.
Yes, Your Majesty.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
It's a big Tuesday night down at Peden Stadium as Ohio football is getting set to kick off the annual Battle of the Bricks matchup with Miami.
And Andrew Bolby is live at Peden Stadium with more on this high-stakes matchup. Bolby.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Well, we are getting set for Ohio and Miami's 102nd all-time meeting at Peden Stadium, and tonight's matchup has major implications on the MAC standings and the conference title game picture. Miami is at a 4-0 record in MAC play, and Ohio is sitting at 3-1, both at the top of this conference. But there's a lot of context needed to understand why tonight's matchup is so significant. First, we'll look at the three most recent meetings. Going back to 2023, Ohio and Miami met right here in Athens with a similar setup to this year. The Bobcats jumped out to a 9-0 lead after the first quarter, but Miami took over and won the game 30-16 and are out to their 2023 MAC championship. A year later in the regular season, Ohio was in Oxford trying to get revenge in the 100th all-time meeting between the programs, but the Bobcats wouldn't find it. Miami controlled play, and Ohio was really never in that game despite what the final score would tell you. And finally, last season's MAC championship game. In the first season for the MAC without divisions, Ohio and Miami met for the conference title in Detroit, and it was the most lopsided MAC title game in history. Ohio dominated Miami 38-3 and won their first conference title in 56 years. And going back to the 2023 meeting, Ohio is 21-1 at home on Frank Solich Field since it was renamed before the 2022 season. The only loss, the 2023 Battle of the Bricks. That game left a salty taste in Ohio's mouth as it remains the only loss on the Frank. Since the defeat, Ohio has won 11 in a row at home, and that is tied for the 4th longest active streak in the country. For this year's meeting, as I said, it carries some very high stakes. Both of these teams sit atop the MAC and have hopes at playing in Detroit in just over a month. The Bobcats won back-to-back games since losing to Ball State at the beginning of October. Ohio has the second best offense in the MAC, scoring just under 30 points per game. They also have one of the MAC's best rushing attacks, led by C.A. Bangura, Parker Navarro, and Duncan Brune. For Miami, they are led by QB DeQuan Finn, who is in his 7th season of college football. Finn faced Ohio in the 2022 MAC title game with Toledo, but now he will face the Bobcats with Miami. Here's a look at the MAC standings so far this season. You see Miami is the only unbeaten team in conference and currently control the MAC, but Western Michigan, Buffalo, and Ohio have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Ohio will face both Western and Buffalo on the road in the next couple of weeks. You've also still got Central Michigan, Toledo, Ball State, and believe it or not, Kent State alive for a spot in the title game. Now, these are by far the most important games that will determine the two schools headed to Detroit. Obviously, tonight's game at Peden has implications, but next week, that's the one to watch. Ohio is in Kalamazoo on Tuesday, facing Western, and then on Wednesday, Miami hosts Toledo. Week 13 sees Miami in Buffalo, and then a week later, the Bulls host Ohio on Black Friday. How big of a game it is tonight at Peden Stadium, and the game kicks off just after 7, and tonight it's the newly coined dark mode game. A lot of people will be wearing black, and we might see a midweek record crowd.
I absolutely love it, Bolby, and it looks like a lot of fun and a great game. Thanks for your great work. Have a great time while you're at it.
We're learning new details. Excuse me. Coming up, More on the suspects arrested and charged in the alleged Michigan terror plot. And researchers may have found a new way to help slow cognitive decline.
How it might affect your Battle of the Bricks and election night.
Support for the alternative for Germany is higher than ever before.
Correspondent Evan Williams investigates the surging popularity of Germany's new right.
Now we are the party of the future.
The influence of Russia.
The Russians have conducted disinformation warfare.
And the United States.
The far right and the Eurosceptics in Europe feel that they've now got their man in the White House.
Donald Trump.
They're no longer excluded, but actually they're part of the political process now.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
We wanted to go. We were just waiting on the edge of a knife. When are we going to get to go?
The order is seize the city.
RPGs, small arms fire from everywhere.
I wasn't worried about, getting shot or getting wounded. I was worried about the guys to my left and right.
I told him that I wanted to go, and he looked at me and said, "Son, you're going to die."
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
I am in favor of closing the libraries until we find a solution to the pornographic filth we do have.
We have librarians who are misunderstanding what is healthy for children.
It didn't dawn on us that we would come under attack.
There was a list of 850 books.
We were told, get rid of them.
This can't be America.
The Librarians, Monday, February 9th at 10/9 Central on PBS and the PBS app.
You ready?
Let's do it.
It's so nice to have you here. It's worth it.
Wheels up in 5.
Very simple, but very elegant food.
I'm trying to save your father's life.
Excited?
I can't wait.
We're learning new details about the 2 suspects arrested and charged in the alleged Michigan terror plot.
Freshly unsealed court documents reveal how phone calls, sessions at gun ranges, and secret meetings in parks led to the FBI swooping in to seize weapons and take the men into custody on Halloween. Michael Yoshida has the story.
Tactical vests and dozens of rifle magazines are just some of the evidence recovered by the FBI during its arrest of suspects in connection with an alleged terror plot in Michigan, according to a criminal complaint.
It's all very disturbing. There was large quantities of ammunition. I think it was, 1,600 rounds of ammunition.
Trips to gun ranges, secret meetings in parks, and encrypted phone calls are what tipped off federal agents that a group was allegedly planning to carry out a terrorist attack in Michigan on behalf of ISIS, according to the complaint, which was unsealed this week. Muhammad Ali, seen here, and Majed Mahmoud, both 20 years old, are now facing federal charges.
We just hear the FBI agents telling our neighbors 2 houses down from us, come outside with your hands up.
According to an FBI affidavit, this all began in 2024. Purchases of firearms, ammo, and trips to shooting ranges followed, court documents state, with the suspects also allegedly scouting target locations, including in Ferndale, Michigan, known for its clubs and bars that attract members of the LGBTQ+ community. The complaint also says recent communications among the group referencing, quote, pumpkin led agents to believe Halloween was the potential day for an attack. Attorneys for Ali and Mahmoud said Monday they hadn't yet had a chance to review the complaint.
There'll be a time to talk about the facts. This is not it.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Today marks day 35 of the federal government shutdown, now tying the record for the longest shutdown in United States history. With interrupted SNAP benefits impacting millions of Americans, many think it's time for the shutdown to come to a close. However, no progress is expected by either party this election day, as the Senate failed its 14th vote on the GOP's stopgap plan to reopen the government. The deadlock for both parties, health care funding. Sources say Democrats are considering accepting a standalone vote to extend expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies, but there's no guarantee it would pass the Senate, so talks continue.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at age 84. Cheney served under President George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. Cheney's family says that he died Monday night due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney served as a White House Chief of Staff, as the only House member from the state of Wyoming, and Secretary of Defense under Bush Sr. before becoming Vice President for George W. Bush. Cheney later became the face and the presumed architect of the Bush administration's war in Iraq and a campaign to enforce U.S. power throughout the Middle East that made him a very powerful but polarizing figure.
2 Massachusetts men have been arrested in connection with an explosion Saturday at Harvard University's medical school in Boston. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force and the Harvard University Police Department made the announcement today. It comes after Harvard police reported that an officer responded to a fire alarm activated at the medical school building just before 3 a.m. on Saturday. Police say the officer found an explosion had occurred on the 4th floor. Police released surveillance footage that showed 2 masked people running away from the building. No one was hurt, and police did not find any other explosives. Well, Zach, you said earlier that we might see some showers as we head into this evening, but also tomorrow. For those at the football game tonight, what kind of gear are you hoping they're bringing?
Yeah, I'm really hoping everyone knows that it's going to be a bit of a chilly night tonight, and there's a chance of a rain shower or 2. If you're out there, you're going to definitely need a sweatshirt as it gets into later hours. And for now, we're just going to be looking at a couple of showers. So turning over to the national radar, what I want to focus on first is focus on the rain up in North Dakota and Montana right now. As it continues across the northern part of the country here, this is really going to give us what's going to drive our weather for the next couple of days. You're going to see this kind of become a low pressure system, establish itself, move in towards this area. That's really going to warm us up over the next couple of days. For now, you're just looking at a bit of a warm front extending across much of this area. That's projecting some clouds in towards Ohio, giving us a couple of those rain showers. I mentioned those rain showers, looking at them locally. Nothing too significant here. You're looking at generally motion west to east. And if anything, we'll be looking at a couple sprinkles. They'll be in and out quickly, and hopefully they'll be out of here by the time we look towards the later overnight hours tonight. Again, those temperatures have been pretty warm here over the last day today, getting up into the 60s. It's going to be nothing compared to what the temperatures are looking like tomorrow, where we expect them to rise easily over 65 degrees. Tonight, last night we saw temperatures getting down to the 30s, so this is a little bit of a warm up in terms of low temperatures, expecting temperatures in towards those low 40s. So again, you're definitely still going to need a sweatshirt out there, but tomorrow, you're certainly not. Looking at mostly sunny skies with temperatures into the upper 60s, might even push 70 in some places. Well, again, I mentioned that rain in the northern tier of the country. That's going to be moving out towards this direction over the Great Lakes. Look at this warm front here. That's what's going to give us that warm weather tomorrow. So again, looking closer, here's that warm front. We're in the warm part of this low pressure system right now. But as we get towards the nighttime, here comes this cold front sweeping through as we get towards Thursday. It's pushed itself all the way through. Not going to get any rain from this, but we will see a bit of a dip in those temperatures. So looking at the next 3 days, you're looking towards a warmer day tomorrow. Still mostly sunny skies as the temperatures continue in towards the 60s. Then we see, again, that cool down with that cold front moving through, In towards Friday, a little bit of rain. As we look towards the weekend, we're going to be seeing a bit of a seesawing in our temperatures. Again, Friday, a little bit warmer with that rain coming through. But as we look towards Sunday and even into Monday of next week, those temperatures drop significantly into the 50s, into the 40s. Overnight lows getting down into the 20s with a chance of snow even on Monday. So we're certainly starting to feel that winter weather.
Thank you, Zach. Increasing the number of steps taken every day may slow cognitive decline in older adults who already have biological signs of early Alzheimer's disease, according to an observational study. While the research is informative, experts caution there is no easy one-size-fits-all solution to delaying the onset or progress of Alzheimer's. Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
Changes in the brain occur years before the first symptoms of Alzheimer's disease appear, according to the National Institute on Aging. Doctors say physical activity may be one of the keys to prevention.
What I tell my patients is that anything is better than nothing, meaning walking around the block is better than not getting off the couch at all.
The presence of beta amyloid and tau proteins are hallmark signs of Alzheimer's. Amyloid can begin to accumulate in the spaces between the neurons as early as one's 30s, potentially affecting communication between brain cells. A new observational study shows physical activity could help slow the buildup of tau and found cognitive decline was delayed by an average of 3 years for people who walk 3,000 to 5,000 steps per day and 7 years in individuals who walk 5,000 to 7,500 steps per day, according to the lead study author. Dr. Leah Kroll was not involved in the study, but says people shouldn't get tripped up on the exact number.
Every step is a small investment in your brain health, and those investments pay dividends over time in the long term. But there's no magic number.
Dr. Richard Isaacson agrees and adds that what is good for the heart is also good for the brain.
If we can mind our vascular risk factors, lower our blood sugar, understand what our blood sugar is, not just trying to get for, a normal number, but really optimal blood sugar, optimal cholesterol, optimal blood pressure. These are things that can really slam the brakes on cognitive decline.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Still ahead, a final look at the weather on election night. And here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
This is Passport, your ticket to stream complete seasons, early releases, iconic series, and so much more.
This was perfect.
Donate to your local PBS station and start streaming today.
We have forecaster Zach Parnell with us. Zach, I'm sure everyone who tuned in right before the break, they heard snow on Monday.
It's possible.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Possible.
How?
It's going to be a really cool start to next week. So tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty warm one. You're looking overnight tonight. Again, those lows not nearly as cool as they were the last couple days. If you're going to the OU football game, expect to bring a sweatshirt. Expect to bring some sort of layer to really keep yourself warm. Again, a shower or two is possible over the next hour, but after that, you are good to go. Then again, on that 7-day, it's going to be a warm one tomorrow, nearly reaching 70 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Then we kind of bounce around for a couple days, heading towards some cooler temperatures on Thursday before some rain on Friday warms us up just a little bit. And then again, that aforementioned chance of snow next week, that's coming with a big plunge in temperatures. Those overnight lows you're seeing towards Monday might not get towards about 20, so we are really feeling an influence of that fall into winter weather.
Wow. True Ohio weather.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Andrew Bowlby and Zach Farnell, I'm Joshua Herner.
And I'm Morgan Anderson. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.